Hi, I'm Kitty Felde. Happy Hanukkah and Merry Christmas. Our present to you is a reprise of our most popular episode this year. Oh, we made our list and we checked it twice. And the most downloaded episode of 2024 for Book Club for Kids is, well, give a listen.
It's the Book Club for Kids.
Book Club for Kids.
Book Club for Kids.
Book Club for Kids. Book Club for Kids podcast.
Hi, I'm Kitty Felde. This week, we tackle a real fan favorite, the latest edition in the Dork Diaries series, Tales from a Not-So-Posh Paris Adventure.
I was about to embark on the adventure of a lifetime in Paris.
That's our celebrity reader, actress Kate Orsini. Our readers from Hollingworth Elementary School in West Covina, California, are all in on Paris.
I would like to go to Paris because I would like to try their food and all their drinks there.
These fifth graders have some questions for the mother-daughter writer and illustrator team of Rachel Renée Russell and Nikki Russell.
How do you not get tired of writing the same books?
I don't get tired because I get to make up a super exciting adventure for every book.
This is the Book Club for Kids, the show where kids talk about books. We'll tell you how you can be on the show a little later on, but first, let's meet our readers.
Hello, my name is Izzy.
Hello, my name is Kirsten.
Hello, my name is Jasmine.
Hello, my name is Lucy.
Hello, my name's Jeremy. We're all fifth graders at Hollingworth Elementary School in West Covina.
So we are talking about Dork Diaries. What is this particular edition all about?
So the main character, Nikki Maxwell, her dad gets invited to go to Paris by Trevor Chase.
And also when she's in Paris, she loses her dress to go to the photo shoot. She starts scrambling with ideas.
What's the story with her band?
She sings.
They had a concert and Nikki, she tripped on some water and then the speakers went out and then the curtains dropped on the whole band and everybody was posting on it on the social media.
How come? Why were they being so mean?
Because it was funny.
So this book takes place in a very exciting city. Where are they going and how come they're there?
They're in Paris and they got invited to go to a magazine shoot because the other band couldn't make it, so they gave the spot to them.
Well, let's hear a bit from the book where Nikki is packing for her big trip to Paris. Our celebrity reader is actress and screenwriter Kate Orsini.
Sunday, August 17th. Today is the most exciting day of my entire life. I can't believe I'll be leaving for the airport at noon. Squee! I was so traumatized by that garbage truck fiasco yesterday that I took a hot shower and slept most of the day. So I got up super early this morning and washed 9 loads of laundry. Actually, it was only 2 loads of laundry, but still, it felt like 9. It's only 8:30 a.m. and I am totally exhausted. So to save time and energy, I just started grabbing clothes and literally tossing them into my suitcase. So now I'm almost done packing. I finally got a text from Chloe and Zoe with an update about my costume. The sanitation company had good news and bad news. The good news is that they know where my dress is located. It's buried somewhere in a 20-acre landfill. However, the bad news is that they weren't able to find and return my dress to me because it's buried somewhere in a 20-acre landfill. My BFFs told me not to worry because they were going to come up with a plan once we got to Paris. But how can I not worry about something as important as the dress I'm supposed to wear? Anyway, I'd finally finished packing. I'd placed my luggage in the hall so my dad could take it downstairs when Brianna peeped into my room. I was expecting her to ask something very selfish, like if she could have my room. Hey, I was going to Paris for 12 days, not to college for 4 years. But Brianna totally surprised me. She handed me her fave Princess Sugar Plum backpack. She said it had a gift inside just for me. What the? I'm sorry, Brianna, but I am not taking your stupid teddy bear with me to Paris. Brianna gave me the worst going away present in the history of mankind. But Nikki, no, there's more. There's a magical surprise. You're going to love it, I promise. Thanks, Brianna, but right now I have a plane to catch. How about I see it when I get back from Paris, okay? I yelled through the door. No, you need to take Hans and my backpack to Paris with you, or you're going to be sorry, she shouted. Then Brianna was mysteriously quiet. I thought she'd left my door until I heard my dad in the hallway. Brianna, can you help me take Nikki's luggage downstairs? You grab the carry-on and I'll take the big one, okay, honey? I glanced at the clock. The driver was picking me up in less than an hour, and I still needed to change my clothes. I decided to wear my fave summer dress with the cute sandals on the plane. When I finally came downstairs, my entire family was there waiting for me. I have to admit, I got a huge lump in my throat and felt like I was going to cry when everyone was hugging me goodbye. It was hard to believe that it was actually happening. I was finally on my way to Paris with my best friends. It was a dream come true. Not even Mackenzie could ruin this wonderful moment. I was waiting at the front door with my luggage when the car pulled into my driveway. My friends lowered the tinted windows, smiled, and waved at me excitedly. I was about to embark on the adventure of a lifetime in Paris, and I was more than ready. Squee!
What's Paris like in this book?
It has many, old-fashioned buildings.
It's where the Eiffel Tower is located.
And if people have never heard of the Eiffel Tower, how would you describe it?
It's a very tall tower. I believe it used to be one of the tallest towers, I think. And you can go on the top and you can see the whole of Paris.
Something else that she saw in the book is some sort of place underground, and I don't know if it's a real place or not, but it had I think it said a graveyard, and it had a bunch of bones and stuff like that. And the other character, Mackenzie, kind of like her school bully, she thought it was one of those pop-up shops, so that's why they went in.
And it's also the biggest city in fashion. She lost all her clothes. She had to buy new ones, and she was really excited.
Well, I have to ask you, because you're our guy here. Everybody else is not a guy. Is this a girl book?
Yeah, it is a girl book. There was not everything that a girl would be interested in, not guys.
What happens when you get a book that is quote-unquote a girl's book?
I'll read it, but I won't enjoy it as much.
I would agree.
So did it make it more enjoyable that it had quote-unquote girl stuff in it?
Well, for me, yes and no, because I kind of I like different kinds of books. For me, it was okay. It was enjoyable.
Would you guys like to get a free ticket to go to Paris? I'm seeing nods all around. Who wants to tell me why?
I would go to see the city, try out the baguettes and the cafes, because I saw a lot of cafes when I was reading the book, and to see the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, I would like to go to Paris because I would like to try their food and all their drinks there.
So has anybody read all the rest of the Dork Diaries series?
I read the first one, and then I read the Sweetheart Dance, the Paris one, which is the one that we read.
Well, somebody's got to describe, because this book isn't like most books you pick up. It doesn't look like most books when you look inside. What's different about it?
It's like a high school girl's diary.
A diary that comes out of a locker, and that's the book you see.
It's not typed either, is it?
You could kind of tell that it was handwritten, and it has a bunch of little written smiley faces and stuff.
She also uses a really funny word when she's excited. What is it?
It was squee. She would always say it if something exciting happened.
This is one of the most popular book series that we've heard about. Tell me why it's so popular.
I think because a lot of girls can maybe relate to Nikki and having anxiety and stuff, but then also having your friends. And it's just a really good book, and I really like it.
I think a lot of people would read that one because a lot of people also dream about going to Paris, seeing the city. I think that's why a lot of people would be interested in reading the book.
Maybe they like the author maybe they've read different books by the same author and they really enjoyed those books.
What makes her writing so special?
The writing is different because you usually don't see people write like that. If she was trying to write for a magazine, it would not work because the writing is different, and sometimes the writing is weird with all the stuff that she adds in the smiley faces.
So you think it wouldn't appeal to adults, but it would appeal
to children, just because of all the stuff that she adds in her writing.
Is this book like anything else you've ever read?
It kind of is like the Diary of the Wimpy Kid series, except maybe Diary of the Wimpy Kid is more for boys than, say, girls?
I feel like people get so hooked on these books because I can relate, because when I started reading the Wimpy Kid books, I read the first one, then I kept reading them because I just wanted, I really liked the author and the series.
Well, tell me about reading series, because I kind of feel the same way. When I start with, I like mysteries, and so I always try to find a writer who has a lot of books out so that I know what to read next. But why are we like that as human beings? Why do we like to keep reading more of the same thing from the same author?
Well, for me, it's because, like, you already know the characters and are used to it, and it might be different for, like, let's say I just skipped to a different book right away, and I would have to, like, try to remember all their names and stuff like that.
Maybe because if you read the first book before and you really, really enjoyed it, then you would probably want to read the second one and then the third one, and sometimes it's just really addicting, those kind of books.
If you were to recommend this book to somebody, who do you think would enjoy it?
I would recommend it to maybe girls that want to travel.
Do you guys have some questions for our writer, Rachel Renée Russell, and her daughter, Nikki Russell, who illustrates the books?
Why did you pick Paris to be a setting?
Well, in the books leading up to Dork Diaries book 15, Nikki had gotten offered a trip to Paris, but she opted not to go to Paris because she decided to go on a tour with the band members from her school that was inspired from my sisters and I. And we were like 11, 13, and 15, and we had a band and we toured nationally. We were at the Apollo Theater. We opened for a lot of famous people. So the whole Nikki band going to Paris wasn't just, far-reaching fantasy stuff. That kind of stuff happened to me when I was a kid, or anything Nikki Maxwell does is not us just, wanting to come up with an interesting plot that's like totally unbelievable and never happens to normal teens. It's stuff mostly that happened to either me, Nikki, or my other daughter, or my siblings. So anyway, that's why she went to Paris, is because she was not able to go to Paris in the earlier book.
What made you think of all the characters and their personalities?
Did you base the main character on like someone you know in real life?
So Chloe and Zoe, they are based on friends that I had growing up who stuck by me, who had enough in common with me to befriend me and treat me the way I wanted to be treated. And that is just our encouraging message to our readers that if you look and if you continue to be your most kind, true, authentic self, you will find friends who are for you and who are rooting for you and love you just the way you are. Mm-hmm. Brandon represents the really cool guy that I would have a crush on growing up, who was always talented and really stood out. But the unique thing about Brandon is he dances to the beat of his own drummer, and he's really nice to me.
What inspired you to make the whole series?
The Dork Diaries series was inspired by my daughter, Nikki, and of course, our main character, Nikki Maxwell, is named after my daughter as well. So it's really interesting because I'm Nikki's mom, so I'm very, very biased, but I feel Nikki was, especially in middle school, she was like such a sweet child. She was helpful. She was friendly to other students. If the teachers needed help with something, she'd volunteer. But other students didn't like her, and it tended to be some of the more popular kids. As she got older and got to high school, I actually transferred her to a new school. So a lot of people don't know that, but that's kind of how it resolved itself. Is so frustrating, and it was getting kind of to the point where they were getting physical with her. So I just pulled her out of school, put her in a new school. However, when I decided to write a book, I wanted to write something that would inspire other kids that were in similar situations.
Why did you name the series Dork Diaries?
Growing up, dork always had such a negative meaning to it. Whenever someone was a dork, it's like they're annoying, they're corny. So I think when you call yourself a dork, you should own it in your own unique way. Truth be told, sometimes I'm corny. And truth be told, sometimes I trip over my own shoelaces. That still happens. But a dork also means you dance to the beat of your own drummer and you're not ashamed of it.
When did you first realize you wanted to become a writer?
I loved crafts. So what I would do is get a bunch of construction paper and I would make my book out of construction paper. So the pictures would be like little teeny tiny puzzle pieces of construction paper that I'd put together. And my first completed book would have been the Ronnie and Donnie book. And it was a book I made for my twin brothers for like I think it was maybe their 7th or 8th birthday.
How do you not get tired of writing the same books?
I don't get tired because I get to make up a super exciting adventure for every book. It's not just I go to school, I have too much homework, Mackenzie hates me. It's not that. We can take her to Paris and we can have her do a little local TV community reality show. We can have her be over the school Halloween party. So it could get boring if we just wrote the same thing, but we try to come up with something new and fantastic every time.
What makes a good story?
What makes a good story, in my opinion, each of my books contains several elements. Number one, it's exciting, and that when you read it, you don't want to put it down, you want to keep reading. There's drama, so there's something going on where someone's mad at someone or someone's trying to undermine someone or whatever. There's humor. There has to be humor. I want you to laugh. Also, always make it a point to put in, Nikki, I want my main character to experience things that real girls and boys are experiencing at this time of their lives. And sometimes it's negative, sometimes it's frustrations, sometimes it's insecurities, not getting along with your parents, not getting along with your friends all the time, or having a person in your life like Mackenzie Hollister.
So now we come to the part of the discussion where we ask the hardest question. What is your favorite book and why do you love it?
It's a series. It's called Amazing Athletes. I like it because I'm really into sports and I like reading about how athletes started.
Is there one in particular that was the one you can remember the best?
To the Tom Brady and Serena Williams.
My favorite book is the Harry Potter series. It's a classic everywhere. I love how Harry Potter, he finds out his way through the wizarding world.
I would have to agree with Lucy. So far, I'm on the 3rd one right now. I really enjoy reading them because I've watched all the movies too. It's really enjoyable for me because I get to think of how the creatures would look if I haven't seen them before in the movies.
Well, I always wonder about that because if you read the book beforehand, you have a picture in your head and then you see the movie. But if you see the movie and then read the book, you've got the movie's pictures in your head. So which is better, the ones you make up inside your head before you see the movie or what the movie does?
Well, it really depends. For me, it is the movie because you get to see them in action. And for the book, maybe you could just see a picture of it.
Harry Potter. I read the first book and now I'm on their other book, but I forgot which book it was. And it's actually pretty, the book I'm reading right now is pretty interesting. There's more new stuff that's happening, new characters, the first years coming this year for Hogwarts.
Well, what about you two? Rachel Renée and Nikki Russell, what are your favorite books?
I love Junie B. Jones and the whole Junie B. Jones series. The Stupid Smelly Bus, that's what got me reading. The artwork was good, and for me, artwork is what makes a good story. The artwork was good, and it was so riveting, it got me to want to read. And Junie B., her character was written so hilariously. So hats off to Barbara Park for that one.
And for me, I would say Princess Diaries. And the reason why Princess Diaries made such an impact on my life is because I loved it so much. I'm I just love to do this. So I've always wanted to write a book professionally. And when I decided to sit down and do it, I had loved Princess Diaries. Meg Cabot is funny, and she was able to take the life of a high schooler. In that case, it was a high schooler that woke up one morning and realized she was a princess. But I loved her style and her humor and the way the character's life was something that most people could, or most teen girls could relate to. And I thought, I want to be able to do that. So I would say the Princess Diaries is what I loved it. It was funny. And I read it as an adult too. I wasn't a teen reading it, but I liked it. And I thought if I could write something like that, but maybe for younger girls, it would be wonderful. So that would be my all-time favorite.
Got a favorite book, Kate Orsini?
I have to say one of my favorite books is Where the Sidewalk Ends by Shel Silverstein. The reason is that growing up, it was the first book that gave me really interesting rhyming sounds with wonderful stories behind them. It was the first book that made me start to try to create poems and create songs based on rhyming words. And it has stood me in very good stead all the way up through today, because that was the beginning of my love of words and creativity, learning other people's lines to say in character, and also creating my own stories and screenplays. So that's why I love it.
We'll have a list of everybody's favorite book at our website, bookclubforkids.org. And you can be on a Book Club for Kids podcast in the future. Just have your teacher, parent, or librarian send us an email to kitty@bookclubforkids.org, and we will send out all the information. Thanks this week to producer Chad Francis. Brandon Baker composed our theme with additional music from Andrew Walton. Emma Steinkellner designed our logo. Thanks to our writer, Rachel Renée Russell, and illustrator Nikki Russell, and our celebrity reader, Kate Orsini. Thanks as well to our readers this week, Izzy, Kirsten, Jasmine, Lucy, and Jeremy, and Stephanie Huerta at Hollingworth Elementary School in West Covina, California. We have a free newsletter for teachers, parents, and librarians full of free tips about how to turn kids into lifelong readers. You can sign up at the website, bookclubforkids.org. This episode is supported by the LA County Department of Arts and Culture as part of Creative Recovery LA, an initiative funded by the American Rescue Plan. I'm Kitty Felde. Thanks so much for listening.